Perks of living next to train tracks. The day has finally come. 2020 Xpedition DLX review. I got this bow in January, and when I got it in January, I put a hype video up about a review on my Facebook page. That's Chest Thumper Outdoors on Facebook if you want to go like the page. I appreciate it if you do. And I realized something after I put up that hype video. I wanted to spend time with this bow before I gave you a review on it, because I didn't want that shiny syndrome of a new toy to overshadow anything that could be potentially wrong with the bow. So here I am 3 months later giving you a review. I've spent ample amount of time with the bow. I've shot it quite a bit, shot it with different arrows, different configurations, and I think I'm finally ready to tell you really how I feel about the bow. I think the best way for me to do this is I'm going to shoot some arrows and I'm going to talk to you after I shoot. I've only got 3 down here, so one thing for me in this DLX that I really enjoy is the draw cycle. And I don't know the best way to really explain the draw cycle, but essentially when you draw, there's some weight there. You can feel that there's some weight there, but it's not harsh and it's not trying to rip off your release arm or anything like that. And it's also buttery smooth, so even though there's some weight there when you're drawing, it's just even weight all the way back until you hit that valley. When those cams roll over and you hit that valley, there's a really solid back wall, and it doesn't try to jump. You know, you can really settle in, be what I call a lazy archer, where you just kind of settle in, you hold it, and you take your time to find where you want to shoot. So you'll see when I draw this, just straight back, butter, no major humps. It didn't fall real deep into that or anything, and then I can go ahead and relax. You know, I'm barely holding anything. I can just relax, take my time, really get where I want to be before I pull that trigger. And then I can just pull through the shot. Again, no rushing, just comfortability. And that's huge for me personally in my accuracy. I want that comfortability. Now, I know there's some people that are more aggressive archers out there that they want something they have to really hold against that back wall. If you're one of those guys, this bow is still that, because you can yank against that back wall, you can try to rip those limbs off the bow and it won't go anywhere. Rock solid every single time. You know, something that worried me about this bow, on the flip side of what I love, is that grip right there. It's a curved grip. Historically speaking, I hate bows with curved grips because I can't get them consistently sit in my hand. Never been able to. No matter what the brand, Elite, Obsession, I've shot them all, I've owned them all, I can't get it to sit in my hand right. So lately I've been a PSE or a Bear guy, something with a flat back grip. I shot APA before this, flat back grip still. When I shot this bow at the ATA show, I was concerned about that. I was pleasantly surprised to find that it did settle into my hand really comfortably. I actually put about 40 arrows through this bow at ATA, which might be a little rude because there's a lot of guys sitting there waiting to shoot. But I really wanted to take my time with this bow before I ended up with one. And I loved it there, and I got it home and I've shot it I don't even know how many times since then, and I love it here too. For guys, sorry, had to grab an arrow. For guys that are short draw archers, maybe another downside to this, guys that are short draw archers or guys that don't necessarily shoot heavy poundage, that care about speed, this may not be the bow for you. It IBOs at 335 or 340, so it's not fast. Now, I'm not a speed guy anyways. I shoot fairly heavy arrows. I believe these arrows are like 550 grains. So speed has never been a really big deal to me, but for some guys that do like speed or do like a little faster bow, this may not be right for you. I definitely would recommend checking out the MX-15 or 16 at that point though, because they are great shooters as well, and they're a little faster. Lays it right in there. One thing I've learned real quick with this bow is don't shoot at the same spot. So I try to keep things a little bit separated. I've broken arrows, I've broken fletchings, I've busted arrows already. It gets expensive pretty quick, especially if you're not one of those guys that gets arrows for free. Not one of those guys. So My overall impression of this bow is that it's amazing. Something else that some people talk about with bows that really is at the bottom of my concern list is hand shock. With this bow Bear at the ATA show, I noticed minimal hand shock. There is still some there, but again, I don't really care as long as it's not chattering my teeth. And the reason why is there are so many things on the market that you can put on a bow to eliminate that hand shock if you want it gone. Just throw some accessories on there on any bow and eliminate the hand shock down to a point that you feel is good for you. Throw another arrow downrange real quick. Something else in the future that I'll be doing is a review on these tack vanes. I just got these in the other day and fleshed up to these arrows. So far I like them, but I gotta spend some more time with them before I really tell you how I feel about them. So, like I said, overall, I think this is a great bow. It's a 34-inch axle to axle. It's got a 6-inch brace height. Like I said, it IBOs at 335 or 340. The draw cycle is amazing. It sits so comfortably in my hand. I really believe this is my favorite bow I've ever owned. I believe that this is a platform that I can be really insanely accurate with. So I'm excited to be able to shoot this more. Hopefully, once all this COVID craziness is over, hit some 3D courses and smoke some buddies. Maybe do a little bit of competition. You'll see that I'm rocking a Trijicon sight despite having an EZV hat on. This is going to be my 3D sight, I think. So I'm just, like I said, I'm really thoroughly impressed with this bow, and it's quickly become my favorite that I've ever owned. So I do highly recommend, if you've got a local dealer that you can have get these in, shoot one. I don't think you'll regret it in the slightest. Thank you guys so much for watching. I so appreciate your time, and I will catch you on the next video of whatever it is that I review. For those of you that were kind enough to stick around and watch the entire video, I do greatly appreciate you. And I'm going to give you a little sneak peek about the next thing I'm going to review. It's a pack of broadheads from B3 Archery. They're called the Strucks. They're a pretty nifty new fixed blade that they just came out with. I'm excited to see what they're capable of.